ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's 1TS Daily live right here at One True Sport. How's it going? I'm your host, Zack Heydorn. Pumped to be here and glad you're here with me. It's Monday, November 4th, 2024, and we got a lot to talk about. Busy weekend in professional wrestling. We've got Crown Jewel champions running around. We've got Raw tonight. Got all sorts of stuff going on that we need to talk about and that we need to get to. So thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching on Twitter, hi. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you guys very much. Listen, I've got the live chat open and ready to go. And as you know, this show, which is every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 Eastern, right here on the One True Sport YouTube channel. It's about talking. It's about hanging out with you guys. It's about just shooting the breeze on current events in pro wrestling and current news and current day stuff. So it always functions better when you guys got the live chat going. So hopefully you guys get in there and mix it up this morning. I know it is Monday. You know, I don't know. Out and about this morning, it seemed like things were a little slow moving for a Monday after daylight saving yesterday. And, it getting darker earlier. Whew, boy, I don't know. Pretty wild day. So maybe we'll be a little bit slower than that. But we do have some folks in there. The boss is in there right now. Byron's in there right now with a couple comments that we'll get to. So make sure, hit the live chat. It's rolling. I have super chats turned on as well. If you're able to contribute to the show with a super chat, any amount is just much appreciated. So thank you. And we'll make sure to bump those up to the top of our list of comments and questions to get to. But feel free, take over, ask a lot of questions. If we just derail this show with all sorts of, or if you just take my notes and just rip them up because you guys have so many questions, that'd be great. That'd be great. No problem there. Quickly, let me take care of a little bit of business here about OneTrueSport.com. It is just a place that you should make a stop for every day as you are scouring the internet for wrestling stuff. We've got some really, really cool merch there in our merch store from some WWE former legends, Hall of Famers, and just some great talent in the wrestling industry. There's merch there for them, access to them. It's all there. You can even get a 1TS Daily hat or shirt or sweatshirt. And my rule or my game is still open. First person to grab a 1TS Daily anything and take a picture of it out in the wild and tag us on social media, hashtag 1TS Daily, and tag me at Zack_Heydorn. Free prize from the show. Cool prize. So you're not going to want to miss it. So thank you in advance for that. Get on it. That's all at OneTrueSport.com. Make sure it's part of your day. Maybe some fun news coming up in regards to OneTrueSport.com very soon. And do me a favor if you're watching on YouTube, like this video. Like the video, would you? It helps us out big time and gets this show in front of more eyes, which makes it more fun. You guys can go back and forth with more people, in the live chat and with questions and comments. So should make for a better environment, the more people that have access to the show. So let's get into the business of the day. We're not going to be talking about spoilers on this show today. The spoilers are out there. You can get them. I work at Sports Illustrated. They're up there. They're at all sorts of places. So if you want them, go ahead and head over there and get them. Here, we're going to just talk non-spoilers. So, obviously I can't reach through the computer screen and make sure you don't type any spoilers out, but please don't. We're going to just kind of treat this as a show that doesn't have spoilers, so we can just talk about wrestling here without it, because a lot of people won't see the spoilers, and a lot of people want to be surprised and don't want anything spoiled for them before they watch the show tonight. So that's the plan here. I do know that they're out there. Thanks, Melissa, for the heads up. So just letting you know, Matt on his YouTube page has spoiler videos of Raw matches. Yep. Thank you, Melissa. Just not going to reveal that here. Byron in the chat says there's a spoiler return for tonight. Okay. pretty interesting. Excited to figure out who that is, and we'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. If it's a big name, we'll definitely talk about that tomorrow. So we're gonna get into some Crown Jewel stuff. We're gonna get into some a Raw preview, a spoiler-free Raw preview, and then we'll also take some questions and talk the news nuggets. We'll start with a question as far as one of the news nuggets goes. Baron Corbin released from WWE. Same with Indy Hartwell and Tegan Knox last week. But, look, bummer news always to hear that. But at the same time, those three weren't used very well at all. Not even very well. They just weren't used, period. So kind of no surprise, and WWE unfortunately isn't going to and can't hold on to talent forever. And so, when I heard this news, it's kind of like, yeah, that it stinks because you never want anybody to lose their job. But now they get a chance to go out and prove WWE wrong and make their way back. I think Tegan Knox in particular could get a lot out of, working the independent circuit. She seems to me that somebody that always had a natural charisma to her and a natural connection with the audience. Like I saw, just a lot of Tony Storm in her for some reason, to me, not the timeless Tony Storm, but old Tony Storm in like terms of just having the ability to just get sympathy and connect with that crowd. I think she could be very valuable in certain situations. And then Baron Corbin, I don't know what he's going to do. He's made some pretty big money in WWE. Is he going to want to go on the independents? And is he willing to take, what certainly will be a cut in pay in order to do that, in order to get down there and get, more notoriety or a different character or whatever. But Boss's question here is, who fumbled the ball with Baron Corbin worse, Vince or Triple H? I don't think Vince fumbled the ball at all. Depends on what you mean by fumble the ball. Like under Vince, Baron Corbin was, I wouldn't say a pushed talent, but he was a talent that was all over the show. You think about that time, 2017, 2018, 2019, through the pandemic with like the Happy Corbin stuff, like he got a lot of time. He worked WrestleMania with Kurt Angle in Kurt Angle's final match. He worked main events with Seth Rollins, So I don't think Vince fumbled the ball with Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin kind of landed exactly where he was always destined to land. Like I never saw Corbin as this guy that could or would, take over WWE. I just didn't see that with him. I always thought that he'd be kind of a middle of the card guy, and that's exactly what he was. And he wasn't a very threatening character, and he was a heel that was obnoxious, and he kind of just lost that edge with Vince. But he was featured on TV a lot. I think he made some nice coin. And that in the end, that's the point. So Triple H, I would say, fumbled it worse because he just didn't use him. He just didn't use him at all. Like clearly, I don't think Triple H was a big Baron Corbin fan. If Vince McMahon was in charge of booking Cody Rhodes as the world champion on SmackDown, I think you would have seen like a Baron Corbin versus Triple H match or Cody Rhodes match. Excuse me. Like it just seemed like Vince was higher on him or thought he could use him for pretty much anything. And so yeah, it's weird, but I'd say Triple H. I think Triple H is the answer to your question here, boss. Yeah. So yeah, bummer news. Just not what you want to see from going into a weekend. Just it's a bummer, but it's a necessary evil in the business. Necessary evil. All right, let's talk WWE Crown Jewel. What did you guys think of the show? Drop your notes or just thumbs up, thumbs down in the live chat. At the very least, that I thought overall it was pretty much a thumbs down show. You know, I think there was some good matches on there, but some bizarre booking decisions and just an overall show that kind of was just kind of blah, just kind of flat to me. We'll start with the 2 Crown Jewel championship matches. And your Crown Jewel champions, if you missed it, are Cody Rhodes on the men's side of things and Liv Morgan on the women's side. Gunther doing this job for Cody Rhodes, I just think that that's an interesting twist. Like, you know, what does Cody get out of it? I would argue not that much, you know, not that much other than like a solidification of you are our top guy. And the thing is, I just think that everybody knew that already. You know, I think everybody knew that. And Gunther could have gotten a lot more out of a victory like this. On top of that, you have to have, in all likelihood, Cody Rhodes now talking about this win, at least for a night. And I just think that's just kind of awkward. It's kind of bad form because it's Saudi Arabia and it's Saudi Arabian propaganda, and that's all that it is. And I think enough people now see it that way. And so when you have Cody Rhodes, your top babyface, doing that from a business perspective, I do understand. I do get it, but it's just one of those things where it's like it's kind of just a bad look, and I think that look is better when it's the heel at this point, even though that's not what Saudi Arabia is going for. So I guess my overall point is there's a lot of cooks in that kitchen. You know, they felt they needed to put it on Cody Rhodes, and now you got to treat it as a big deal with your babyface champion. I liked the match a lot. I thought the match was good. I thought, you know, they just really utilized Gunther's dominance. They used the chop up, you know, significantly. That was a big part of the match structure and the match psychology. So good match. I think they left quite a bit on the table as well. If they ever want to go back to it, which I think obviously they will at some point. Need some caffeine here. And look, we've got the holiday cups for Starbucks. See here we go. Starbucks. You need to sponsor this show because we're going to drink your holiday drinks in your holiday cups. So there you go, Starbucks. Thank you. Everybody out there, just like tag Starbucks in this, and they'll have no choice but to sponsor One True Sport. TS Daily. Okay. So that's kind of my notes on that. It's fine, and it was a fine main event, and it was what it was. The crowd was into Cody a lot, so that was good to see. But yeah, just kind of okay. Cody's the Crown Jewel champion, and then he's got the ring, and okay. On the women's side of things, it's a lot more interesting and a lot more weird. Liv Morgan beats Nia Jax with a lot of outside interference, which is what we predicted on this show on Friday when we did a review or a preview of it. The weird part was Liv like drops her entire gimmick after she wins this belt. She's smiling in the ring afterwards in like the ring ceremony presentation. And if you missed this, so those big, huge, honking, gaudy championship belts are going to stay in Saudi Arabia at the WWE Experience place there. And Liv and Cody were both given rings, like rings to wear. Also gaudy, and also terrible. But when Liv gets this thing on WWE TV, she like drops the whole gimmick. She drops the whole like annoying heel stuff. She very respectful of Triple H and to Cody and other, you know, kind of members of the Saudi Arabian regime that they deal with were there. She talks about how just totally baby faces it up and is this nice, likable character. And I'm sitting there like, what? If this wasn't convoluted already, it certainly is now. Like, this is WWE TV. Play the character. Like, I don't know. It just was, I just thought it was just bizarre and bad. Like, what? Next, you know, on Monday night, tonight, she's just going to flip right back. It's like, just make up your mind with how you're doing this post-show stuff. Either it's going to be all in character or it's going to be none of it in character. They switch around so much, and it's obnoxious and hard to follow. And I just thought Liv came across really bad. It's like, be more committed to your character there, and get some heat. I don't know. That's the goal. And instead, she just kind of just was Liv Morgan, real person. That's not her real name, but you get what I'm saying. So it was bad. The match wasn't great either. Lots of interference. It's just really no crowd investment. Nia Jax beating up Liv Morgan just inherently, I think, made the audience want Liv Morgan to win more, because she was just clearly the underdog from a size perspective. But this is why you don't do matches like this, because you don't have a clear direction and a clear way that you want your crowd to feel. And that definitely was notable here. Absolutely notable here, without question. Seth Rollins defeated Bronson Reed. I thought this was a really good match, with another bizarre outcome. Like, I guess that's it for Seth versus Bronson Reed. I mean, it didn't really fully look like it because they kind of had that stare down at the end of the match after it was over. But Seth pinned Bronson Reed clean, like right there with a stomp off the top rope. Like, it's okay. Monster's not that bad of a monster. I mean, he was stomped into a car and got up like quicker than this. So just, I don't know, just kind of just backwards booking. To me, this means that Seth may be on a fast track to a world championship match. More on that in a second. But it seems to me that like that win sets Seth up, and that's kind of like why they did this. So more, like, I think Bronson Reed, as we talked about on Friday, held up his end of the bargain and should be looked at differently because of how this feud went. And maybe they do, but not enough to change any kind of outcome for Seth Rollins or for Bronson Reed here in this match. It was clearly designed for Seth, and I think Seth moves on and is a contender for Gunther, pretty soon here. All right, we had a triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. LA Knight beat Carmelo Hayes and Andrade in a triple threat match. This was the match of the night. I think this was a really good match. They were creative. They worked fast. They kind of shielded. LA Knight in a lot of ways. And Carmelo and Andrade just created a ton of movement for him, but it worked. I mean, the three of them, they're dance partners in there, and I thought they worked that way. To be sure, LA Knight got the win. He retains the title in a really cool finish. It was like a double finisher from LA Knight to get the W. Big crowd pop. LA Knight was over in Saudi Arabia without question. So this was really good. And if you're going to go back and watch one match because of the match quality only, that's it. Because of the match quality only, this would be the one to watch. This would be the one to watch for sure. Okay, then we had the women's tag team titles were on the line. You had Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair defeat Damage Control, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven, and Jakara Jackson and Last Legend in a fatal four-way match. This was a kind of very spot-heavy match. Very spot-heavy match. It just went spot to spot to spot, but the spots were unique, and they all were crisp. I mean, they hit on them. They hit on those spots. And so I think that made the match good. If you would have messed up those spots and they wouldn't have hit them, you would have been rolling your eyes at the end of this one and just saying like, okay, what are we doing here? But they did. They took their time. They set up some unique stuff that you hadn't seen before. They showcased, the power of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Specifically, this match was essentially designed for them to go over big, and they did. And they won the match. And I'm not sure what happens now in the tag team scene. It seems to me that the people who didn't get pinned in this one will work to secure opportunities at the tag titles again. We'll see. But I mean, the story here clearly is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And so good match. And yeah, but they kind of dusted many challengers for the titles at the same time. All right, then it was Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, except that match never really got going. Big brawl to start, and the brawl caused there to be complete chaos. Everything breaks down. The match never happens because of the brawl. Randy Orton hits Adam Pearce with a RKO out of nowhere. So that will be, a storyline point here, I'm sure. Maybe it leads to some kind of Raw versus SmackDown match. I don't know. Survivor Series does loom. I hope not. Please. No warfare between the brands. So please no. So this feud continues. The brawl was really good. I thought the brawl ended very well with a top stage dive from Kevin Owens, elbow drop onto Randy. That worked, but just overall, just to do the match. So what can you say really? But the brawl was good, and this extended the feud without question. And then we're at the opener. It was Bloodline versus Bloodline. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso against Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. This I thought was, from a match perspective, I thought was pretty slow. Pretty slow, pretty just kind of flat. I mean, the crowd was into it, and they were into Roman, and they were into Jey in particular. And Jey even got the big entrance after Roman Reigns did. So that's interesting. But really, all that matters here is two things. One, Solo Sikoa pins Roman Reigns. The absolute right booking decision to make. You had to do it. I mean, it's weird to say out loud that happened because Solo's so cold. But if you're going to a bigger match here, if you're going to War Games with this, you have to give the heels credibility. We talked about that. Well, we've talked about it for weeks and weeks, but specifically we talked about it on Friday when we previewed this match. You have to give it juice. You have to give the heels juice. This does that in the biggest way possible. Solo pins Roman. I mean, that's significant, and that's going to be a big talking point. So I give WWE credit for green lighting that. They needed to badly. So that was one thing. And then the other thing is Sami Zayn coming down and joining up with the Bloodline again, his old buddies, Jey, Jimmy, and Roman. I thought there was a cool shot where they kind of surround Solo in the ring. And then in classic old school Bloodline fashion, there's a miscommunication. Roman and Sami both hit each other. Solo ducks, and then Jimmy gets mad at Sami. Jey tries to cool Jimmy down, and kind of the drama sets in for what the build will be here to Survivor Series. So Sami's back in the fold. That's the other big takeaway here. That's about really all it is for that match. It really was a storyline driver more so than it was hey, we're gonna have this really good match. Mike, I question though a little bit with this how good War Games can be. Just because this match didn't have it. This match, it had a lot of the players that'll be included in War Games, but it just didn't have any real intrigue. It didn't have the action was slow. I think I made the argument that WWE needs to tone down Jacob Fatu because he overshadows Solo Sikoa, and it seemed like they've had that conversation with him, and it's telling because I think a lot of the action and danger and excitement on that Bloodline side isn't there when he's not clicking and he's not on. And it's a double-edged sword because if you go with him in that momentum and that energy, he overshadows Solo, who's the key act in this whole thing. So they're in a tough spot. But yeah, I don't know. They got to take the match to another gear if they're going to do this, inside War Games. So they got a long way to go. And luckily they've got, almost a month to do it. So plenty of time, but yeah, they got some things to work on and some things to build specifically on the heel side. But again, Solo winning, that's, a big piece of the puzzle. All right, that's Crown Jewel. Tonight we have Raw. It is a pre-taped Raw, so it is already in the can. If you do want spoilers, you can go out there and find them. Sports Illustrated has them. Check them out. We're not going to talk spoilers here, but the card looks like this. We've got the War Raiders versus New Day, Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable. Liv Morgan is scheduled to make an appearance on the show and talk about her being the first ever WWE Women's Crown Jewel champion. And then also we have a humongous fatal four-way with the winner being crowned number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That's Gunther's championship. So it's Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. There you go. Versus Sheamus versus Dominic Mysterio. And that's a fatal four-way. So pretty big main event for a pre-tape show. I look at that and I say, there you go. There's Seth's avenue to a match with Gunther. Sheamus and Dominic just aren't defined as a star on that level at this point in time. And Damian Priest versus Gunther, we've already seen recently. So I don't think they're going back to the well. So even if Seth didn't have the match that he had and didn't get the win that he got over the weekend, I still think he's really the only person in this match that you could like look at and go, yeah, he's our guy. But he makes the most sense. And, you know, with CM Punk out there looming, you know, I wonder if Punk gets involved in this somehow, because him and Seth are obviously, you know, on each other's periphery to kind of get to a WrestleMania match at some point. So I wonder if this is a time to bring Punk back. We'll see. But yeah, this to me reads a Seth win all the way. Let me pull up my other notes here for news and nuggets of the day and of the weekend. Let's see here. Goldberg announces that he's going to have a retirement match next year. Oh boy, I wonder who that's going to be against. A lot of people have their retirement matches in 2025. John Cena being the other one. So, you know, there you go. Goldberg is going to work a match. I don't know if that's worrisome to you. It kind of is for me. But yeah, so that's the other big news of the weekend. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Boss says here in the chat, Goldberg Cena. Yeah, boy, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that we get that match at some point. You know, why not? I don't know. Maybe it's like a big international show match. Not a lot you can do there from a ring perspective, but hey, you know, WWE likes to put on big, huge matches like that. So I could even see that as like another Saudi event match. So we'll see. But yeah, good call, boss. Yes, guys. Okay, we'll wrap up there. Thank you. Check out more of my work at Brass Ring Media if you haven't done so already. We have a YouTube channel. We're live on YouTube every single day of the week except for Fridays. Check it out. You can also check out our written work on Substack. That's our newsletter platform. We're pretty much all editorial and feature based, so it's opinion based stuff, and I think it's some of the best written work out there from the team and from myself. I think we do a good job covering the business the right way, and hopefully you check it out. Just search Brass Ring Media Substack. You can sign up for free. I think you'll enjoy what we do. And also give me a follow on social media at Zack_Heydorn on Twitter X. Yeah, live tweeting different things and going back and forth and kind of taking this conversation and extending it out there. So always love interacting with you guys. So thank you in advance. Register to vote. Tomorrow's the big day. Register to vote. Get out there. Cast your vote. Don't forget. Cool. All right. Thanks so much once again. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And we'll talk to you tomorrow right here at 1TS Daily at One True Sport. See ya.